Hi everybody and welcome to the iSolved weekly training. Today we're going to go over how to add and edit employees. We're going to go through two separate ways to add employees and then I'll show you some ways to edit employees once you've got some more information. So the first way that we're going to go through is through the new hire wizard. So we'll go to employee management and then click new hire wizard. With the new hire wizard, you're going to answer the questions that you have and then the rest of the information you can fill in as you get it. So we go to employee management and then a new hire wizard, and we're going to go right through all the pages. So on the first page, first you'll choose the legal name of the company, the status is required, the hire date is required. So maybe this employee started on Monday, but you are in the office for the first thing today. So you can always backdate the hire date. The adjusted service date, you can also backdate if you need to. The employee number. This will always be the next number in the sequence, but you can change it if you want to, as long as no other employee already has that number. The next category is the employment category. So we will make this employee full-time. The time clock ID. This can be used for companies who use the iSolved time clock system, badges, quick punch, or if you import time. If you add the time clock ID here, this will automatically add the employee to TimeForce when you save this wizard. So you'll check the button next if you want this employee to be included in the new hire wizard, or the new hire report rather. So next we're going to general. The ID type, you can choose whichever you are going to enter. We'll choose the social security number here, and we're going to add one. The first name, we are going to add Ariel because she is my favorite Disney character. She is our new hire today. Her last name is Titan. So we add her first and last name that are required. The preferred and middle name you can put in if you have them. Enable self-service. This is the email address where the employee will receive emails from iSolved. So if you have Ariel's email address, you can put it in. We're going to put in my work email address, or you can put in whatever you're going to put that in because I know it's an actual email address. You'll want to check Enable Self-Service if you're putting in the email address. If you don't have an email address, you'll want to uncheck that until you have an email address. Oh, we can't do that. All right, so maybe we'll do Gmail. We'll make up an email address. Marital status is not required. She lives at, let's see, she lives under the sea. Under the Sea Drive. The zip code, for example's sake here, we're going to put her in Manhattan. When you enter the zip code, the cities will automatically populate. It takes a minute sometimes for iSolved to do that, but we are going to have Ariel's under the sea address be in Manhattan, for example's sake. It auto-populates the state as well. The birth date and gender are not required, so we're going to leave them blank for now. And then we click next when we get to the end of all the required info at least. So the next page is personal information. None of this information is required. You can put in what you know, if you know it. And when you put in a phone number, it automatically adds the dashes for you, so you don't have to do that. You can add the I-9 info if you have it, her disability information if she's got it, employment information, EEO, and veteran information. So then we're going to click next because we don't have any of this information. The pay group. This is the salary information page. So we are going to have Ariel be paid weekly, and our pay type is hourly. When you add the pay group, that's always the frequency, so it will automatically populate the frequency for you. Normal hours are not required, and none of the salary info is required. We do know that her hourly rate is $25 per hour based on her offer letter, though, so we're going to put that in there. She also gets a differential rate. She works, when she works overnight, she gets $1 more per hour. So we are going to add in rate 2 and make that $26 per hour. None of these items are required, so we're going to leave them blank for now. So then we click the next page. And this is all for tax information. The resident location is auto-populated with a geocode, which comes up based on the zip code that you put in. So it sets them up with the proper city, state, and school taxes when appropriate. The work location is required, so we are going to choose the location that's populated. And we did say that she lives in New York City, but she does work for a company that's right in Half Moon, New York. So I'm going to show you the reciprocity that you can fill in right here, right in the new hire wizard. So the federal income tax info is not required. The state income tax is not required. And because we put in the Manhattan zip code, a New York City income tax residence popped up. So we are going to fill this in for Ariel and city income tax, and then we are going to click next. So the fifth page has the organization fields and the home labor fields. None of this information is required either. The new hire wizard, you want to put in all the information that you have so you don't have to take more time and put in more later on, but at least gets them into the system so that they can have a shell and log in to set up their employee self-service if you've enabled it. So the organizational fields, we are going to choose some items here. And then we click next. Direct deposit is on the fifth page here, or the sixth page rather. So if your employee has given you any direct deposit information, you can put it in. The status, you'll choose active if you want it to go right to the bank. Inactive is if it's not an account that they actually want any money to go to yet, but they want it in there. And then pre-note is when the money does not go to the bank right away, rather the iSolved will send a note to the bank to make sure that it's a legitimate account that is tied to the new employee before it actually starts working. So you can choose the appropriate. You would choose the account type next. The sequence you choose if the employee has more than one. So if they want some to go into savings and the rest to go into a checking account, you can put it in. For this example, we're not going to put a sequence in. Every pay, most people want their paychecks to go into their bank accounts every single pay, but sometimes they want it to go only the first of the month if it's a savings that they may have or whatever it may be. The employee can choose, or you cannot give them that option also. It's all up to you. So we're going to choose every pay. The sequence we actually do need to put in, I apologize, I misspoke earlier. So we are going to put in 100%. You could put in an amount if there is more than one, but you can put in 100% if it's only one. So we are going to add in a routing number and then her account number, and it's Ariel's checking account. You don't have to put a description in, but sometimes it is good to have that as an easy reference tool. So after you have the direct deposit information, this is the last page of New Hire Wizard. When you click Save, Ariel is saved, and then it brings you all the way back to page 1. That is when you can add the next new hire if you want to go through New Hire Wizard to add your new employees. So the next way we are going to add employees is through a quick hire. Quick hire is another way to quickly add employees into iSolved. And all the new hire details are on one page, so it's a lot of information, but the required fields are in asterisk, so those are only ones that you really need to add in. So for this quick hire, we are going to add in only the very required, and then we'll do some editing employees so I can show you how to add the rest of the information. So employment category, see, Ariel was 9, so our next employee is 10. This next employee, employment category is required, so we are going to say full-time. An ID type, social security number, ITIN, EIN is required, but we're going to do social security number because we want to. What did I do wrong here? There we go. So first name, we are going to have Flounder, Ariel's friend, who she referred after only a couple of days on the job because she realized how great the company was. So Flounder is his first name. I don't know if he's got a last name in The Little Mermaid, so we are going to make him Yellowfish. We are going to deselect Enable Self-Service because he does not have an email address. And we're going to scroll. His address, he lives right next door to Ariel under the city. We're going to wait for our cities to auto-populate. And the state auto-populates. Scrolling down pay group, he is going to be paid bi-weekly, and his pay type is salary. The frequency is required, but it is automatically populated based on the pay group. So we scroll down to the bottom, and then we look over here on the right, see if there's anything else that's required before we can save him. Oh, they want his work location. He works remotely into the Half Moon business also. So we have everything that's required, so we're going to click Save. And Quick Hire X, just like the New Hire Wizard, whereas it brings you back to a fresh page to add the next new employee once that employee is saved. So now we have Ariel and Flounder in iSolved, and we have some more information because they've been at the company for a couple of days now, so they've given us some federal tax information. So we are going to update Ariel. To update employees, you go to Employee Management, and then you can click Employee Summary. And we click OK because that is just making sure that we don't want to keep going through Quick Hire. So we're finding Ariel, and this brings us to her Employee Summary. The Employee Summary is useful because you can click the title and the hyperlink of the information that you have, and then you can edit it. So we're going to click Federal Tax Filing Status because that is the information that Ariel has given to us. And she is single, and she has 0 exemptions. We add that info, and we click Save. When an employee is selected, you can also search for fields to add to them. So maybe she has given you another direct deposit account, and you don't know where in here it is, or you don't feel like clicking through to search all of it. You can click right in the search field and type in direct deposit, and it will bring you to the path where you can make that change. Employee management, employee pay, direct deposit. And it brings us to Ariel's direct deposit page. So we want to add a savings account. We click Add New. The status will say active, the account type savings, the sequence will make it number 2, and then the amount, we've got 100% here, so we are going to have to edit that in order to make savings be 50%. So we're going to cancel, we're going to click Every Pay and edit, and we are going to make it 50%, and then click Save. So now, if you only had this one direct deposit account in for Ariel, half of her paycheck would be direct deposit, and then the other half would be a paper check. So we want to add new and create that savings account for Ariel that she requested. It's number 2. It's Every Pay. We are going to put in 50%, and then the routing number. And then we click Save. And then her direct deposit information is up. So there are changes that you can make on the Employee General screen also. So we're at the Employee Summary screen. And some of the information that you change could also affect the employee's paycheck or their benefits eligibility, or maybe a benefits change. So if you go to Employee Management, Employee Maintenance, and then the General screen, there is information on here that may change. So say you have a new birth date for her. If you scroll to the birth date section, there is no birth date at all. So you have to add it. We will say she was born on this day, and you click Save. So if you have short-term, long-term life insurance disability plans through your company, it is often based on age bands. So say Ariel said she was born in 1986, or it said it was 1968, but you typed in 1986. She might be in a different age band. So say she gives you that correction. You go to the employee management, employee maintenance general screen, and you're going to correct that date of birth. So right here, you will choose, or you will type in the correct birth date, and you can click Save. So it's two fields rather than just typing over the old data, because you want to create a record of it, because I didn't put the dashes in. Because age bands are sometimes different with life insurance, so maybe a bigger deduction is going to start coming out of her paycheck. Or if it's a company paid benefit, it might be a larger premium on the benefits administration side. So something that you're going to want to be aware of and give the employee a heads up on if it's going to affect them. Another thing that if you change it, they may be affected is their tax info. So maybe she moved from New York City up to Half Moon because she didn't want to be a remote employee anymore. You go to that employee summary. And again, we're still on Ariel because she's the last employee that we chose. You're going to click tax information. No, you know what? I'm sorry. First, we're going to go back to employee summary, and we're going to go to employee name and address. So she moved to Half Moon. She moved to 6 Half Moon Street. And we're going to update the zip code, and then we click Save. When we go to, let's make sure it saves here. All right, so now we're going to go back to the employee summary, and we're going to click in tax information, and I want to show you that her New York City tax info is gone. So she's not going to be taxed for New York City anymore, so you can give them a heads up for that sort of thing. One other item, we're going to go back to employee management, employee maintenance, and then general, is the Social Security number updates. So we are going to go, let's say that Ariel gave us the right Social Security number, but Flounder didn't even know what Social Security numbers were when he first started with us, so he just made one up. And then he wised up and he got a Social Security number. So if you want to update the Social Security number, you're going to choose it from the drop-down, and then you are going to add the Social Security number correction in, and click Save. You can look at employee information here on the employee summary screen. And this is all of the stuff that you put in either when they first started or as you learned the information. You can also look at their salary information. If you wanted to see their salary or maybe their salary history, you would go to employee management, employee pay, and then salary. This is Flounder, and we hadn't put any salary information in for him. So say we actually got his salary, he's not working for free anymore. We're going to click Add New, Current Change, or maybe Future Change, whatever is applicable. We'll choose the date. We want to choose today. The change reason is we are going to say correction, because we got the information that we needed. Salaried, paid bi-weekly. His normal hours, we are going to say 40 because he is a salaried employee. Employee pay already exists for selected date. All right, we are going to choose tomorrow. We're going to add new. The effective date is going to be January 6th. Future change. Add in the hours. And we are going to say 100% increase because he was not being paid at all before. And see how the per pay salary and the hourly rate auto-populated when I put in the annual salary, and that's because the pay group and biweekly frequency were already set up. Then we click Save, And he has a salary history in here. So he was not getting paid at all for his first week because we just didn't have that in the offer letter yet. And then we added in his salary once we created an offer letter and he accepted it. If you want to look at some other items that the employees may have, you can go to employee management, employee pay, garnishments are here. You can also look at employee benefits and any benefit plans that they are a part of, what the rate factors are, leave accruals, the group term life. Again, like we said with Ariel earlier, it will have different data in based on the age band and her birth date. So all of those details would be right in here. We can go to Ariel. We don't have any benefit plans set up in this demo site, but that is where it would be housed. So there are other ways that you can add employees into iSolved. Again, the new hire wizard and the quick hire are really great for when you've got the information that you need to get them at least set up into iSolved and then add the other employee information later. If you have a large group of employees that you want to add all at once, you can do a data import and your account manager at GTM can help you to do that. You can also have onboarding where the employees enter their own tax information, their own direct deposit info, and a lot of their own personal information, and that would be something that GTM can add to your iSolved platform if you want to. And there is iSolved Hire too, and that is an applicant tracking system that collects information from candidates that you are hiring and you're interviewing to start working at your company, and then once they are hired, and you can actually click a button in iSolved Hire, and a lot of that information about the employee will transfer right over into the iSolved Human Capital Management System. So those are some other options that you've got through iSolved. Again, the new hire wizard and the quick hire are great for data entry and adding employees in. And then there are some other options if you've got larger groups or a big amount of data and you don't really know how to best and most efficiently get it into iSolved. So you can certainly call your account manager if you have any questions on the larger data import, new hire importing options. You can also call me if you have any questions with adding and editing employees in iSolved. My name is Kristen, and you can always call me at 518-836-2505. So thank you for joining me today, and I look forward